real coming together of observations across multiple disciplines. And so here's the fundamental realization. We have to see the world through a story. In fact, if you describe to someone the structure through which you see the world, what you're actually doing is telling them a story. So here's the way to think about it. When you go see a movie, it grips you emotionally. And the reason that happens is because the filmmaker, the writers, provide you with some insight into the goals of the characters. And when you can adopt someone else's goals, you can align your emotions with their emotions. And that means that you can feel what they feel, and that means that you can understand them. And so if you adopt the story that someone else is telling, then you can literally mimic them. You can mimic their nervous system with yours. And you have that feeling of being in sync with someone or in tune with someone. And you have that feeling because that's exactly what's happening. So not only do we have to see the world through a story, but the story that we see the world through determines how we respond to things emotionally. So this is a useful thing to know. You know, if the world is unfolding for you in a manner that you don't find particularly acceptable, if you're anxious and upset and depressed and hurt and hopeless, one possibility is that you're not looking at the world through a particularly productive story. Now, once you understand that you have to look at the world through a story, or that it's inevitable that you will, another question immediately arises, which is, well, what story do you or should you see the world through? And that's the subject of great debate. In fact, the whole cultural war that we're in at the moment, that's turning everything into a kind of chaos, is actually a debate between the promoters of different stories. Now, the postmodern and neo-Marxist types, they tend to insist either that all our stories are fragmented and subjective and hedonistic at their base. There's no such thing as an overarching, uniting narrative. That was the claim of the French postmodernists. Or there's an alternative claim, which is that the only story that really unites people, the only story that really exists, is one of power, and that you can see the whole world as a reflection of the competition between different stories of power.